So in this module, we'll be talking about non-pharmacological pain relief, which is everything that is not medicine-based. You can do this at home, so you can do it all the way through having a home birth, or you can do it whilst you're in the late and early stage of labour at home before you go to hospital. Most hospitals and birth centres are now equipped with water pools, specifically designed for use by women in labour. Water has a strong research base behind it to suggest that it's not only effective at helping to relieve labour pain, but can also help to shorten your labour, as well as helping to reduce the incidence of tearing during your baby's birth. There's quite a few different types of pools available to use. The water pools in hospitals and birth centres can be various shapes and sizes, and are usually made of rigid plastic, so they can be maintained and cleaned easily. If you want to see what's available, then call your chosen maternity unit or birth centre and ask. They may have online virtual tours of their rooms that are available, and you can see what the water pools look like. There's also the movable type, and these are usually used for births at home. They're mostly inflatable, and the most popular brand is Birth Pool in a Box. They come with all the necessary kit, such as a hose, a pump, a liner. These pools can be bought, hired, and sometimes loaned to you for a donation, so check what's available online via social media or your home birth support group in your local area. You may decide to use a water pool during your labour only, or you may decide to give birth in there too. It's perfectly safe for your baby to be born underwater, as your baby doesn't take the first breath until they're brought to the surface. Water is known to provide effective pain relief for contractions, and it's also known to be relaxing and therapeutic. Water can be very relaxing during labour, and in some studies it's even been shown to have an ability to lower your blood pressure. It can shorten both the first and second stages of your labour, making labour a quicker and easier process. It has been proven that you reduce the risk of tearing during birth by using water during your labour. You may feel that water works so well that you don't need any other form of stronger pain relief. However, you can also use the gas and air whilst you're in the pool too. You may feel much more able to move around and use active birth positions within the water pool. Women often feel that they've got more privacy and control, as there's some distance between them and the midwives and other people when they're in the pool. And that enables them to zone out due to the relaxing qualities of the water. And this can then again raise that hormone oxytocin that we've been talking about. There may be circumstances where you could be advised to leave the water pool. These may involve if your waters break and there's meconium in your waters, that's when your baby's had a poo, and that would be suggested that your baby maybe needs some closer monitoring on the CTG machine. Also, if you start to lose too much blood, this is more common after your baby is born, as it can be safer and easier to measure that blood loss and treat you outside of the pool. If the water pool needs draining for any reason, for example, were you to be sick, because that's quite common to be sick during labour, your pool might need draining and refilling again with fresh water. If your midwife thought there was a problem developing with you or your baby that needed more closer monitoring, for example, if your temperature went up, this might be temporary, just to get out of the pool because you've got a little bit too warm and to reduce your temperature. Water is reported by many women to be very effective pain relief in labour, which in turn enables women to remain more relaxed and more in control. So this is a device called a TENS machine. So it looks like that. It sends electrical impulses onto your back, and it kind of confuses the impulses going to your brain for pain and sort of distorts those, and you focus on the impulses that are coming through here. These 4 sticky pads here, those are quite sticky and will just stick into places on your back, and it comes with full instructions on how to use it. It's best started off in early labour, and then you can get used to how it feels, and you can learn to turn it up or turn it down as you need it throughout your contractions.
Another great tool to use in early labour that doesn't involve any sort of pharmaceuticals is massage. And it's a really, really simple tool. And you can use any oil. If you've been using a perineal massage oil, you could use that, or anything where you can actually just reduce the friction. And you just get your partner to get the heel of their hand onto your lower back. Now, it's going to depend very much on you. For some women, they don't like a lot of pressure. For other women, they need loads of pressure. Some women actually want small circles. Other women want constant pressure. So the rule of thumb is just be directed by your partner. And for you, when you're in labor, just say to them, just, really direct them about where you need that pressure. But it is absolutely brilliant, especially if your baby's back to back, and especially if you've got backache, and that's what most of your pain in your labor is coming from, is your back. You can also use just gentle, soft shoulder massage as well. And again, that's great just for helping you to relax. So when you're having a contraction, the tendency is to just raise your shoulders up and tense all these muscles. So if your partner just really gently presses down and then just starts really gentle, almost like feathery movements down your shoulders and down your back, that just helps to relax and calm. And again, any sort of gentle touch that's done to you increases these oxytocin levels. And remember, oxytocin is that hormone that helps you in labor, that makes your womb contract, that helps your uterus to contract. So it really is brilliant, not only at relieving lower back pain on the lower back, but also just helping you to relax and giving you lots of these lovely oxytocin hormones.
The environment is really important during your labour, and often a hospital can have really quite a clinical environment. It can be quite stark and white, and you can often feel a little bit intimidated when you go in, but this can be adapted. So you can adapt your hospital room to make it look much more homely. You can bring your own things in and just really help to make that environment your own. You can move the bed out of the way. You can raise the bed so you can use it for during your labour to squat up and down with. And you can close the curtains. Get that environment really dark, turn the lights down, and again that will raise your oxytocin levels and enable you to just labour a little bit more effectively, because your contractions will become more rhythmic. Now, the things that you can bring in with you include your own pillow. It sounds like such a simple thing, really, doesn't it? But the pillows in the hospital are really quite plasticky, and your own smells and everything that you bring from home will just give you that feeling of being a little bit more relaxed. You can also bring in photos, and you can bring in what we call birth affirmations, which are maybe chosen words between you and your partner, or chosen words that you think will give you power and strength throughout your labour. And that will also help you to be relaxed. And you can also use your iPod or your phone for music, and that'll help you to zone out and keep you in a much more relaxed.
Yeah, and labour wards, they can be quite noisy places. So I think
Definitely.
That idea about music, it's a really powerful tool to use as well, because we all know how music affects us. But also knocking at doors and things like that, and having people that are coming into your room, asking them to be quiet and to keep their volume down as well, because the temptation is when you come into a room that you use the same volume that you've been using out in a corridor. Some women actually just put little notices outside their door just to say, please just knock and talk quietly, because it really is so important. And sometimes I don't think we really appreciate it enough, how that really dark, quiet, warm environment helps.